Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Bridget Bjorlo. Glad you're with us. We are starting tonight with a Fox 61 exclusive. During this Memorial Day travel weekend, thousands across Connecticut will be burning gas to get to their destinations.
But in Hamden, one service station owner says he's worried about his gas getting stolen. Fox 61's Matt Karen is in Hamden to share the story.
Well, Bill Schwabe is the vice president of operations for Teddy's stores. They operate 19 locations across the state, including here at the Sunoco on Dixwell Ave in Hamden. It's where Bill says sophisticated thieves have been stealing gas straight out of the pumps.
You might get hit overnight.
It's video you'll only see on Fox 61. Thieves under the cover of darkness pulling into the pumps at about 1:30 a.m.
Stealing all the gas they want.
Fox 61 obtained the incident report that shows Hamden police responded to the Dixwell Ave service station Monday to take down information on the incident, which occurred May 17th.
How big are your tanks under there?
I got 3 10,000-gallon tanks.
Bill told police that over the past year, he's had about 1,000 gallons of diesel fuel stolen, valued at about $5,000. A big hit for a small business owner.
We're working on pennies out here, so for people to come in and take these kind of numbers from us sets us back quite a bit.
The theft itself is quite elaborate and requires some inside industry knowledge, leading Bill to believe
it has to be somebody local. It has to be somebody in this industry.
Without giving away too many secrets, basically most gas pumps can be put in a continuous flow mode with a single code.
These guys rolled right in with a tractor trailer and just had their way.
That code is usually the same unless the service station technicians make the extra effort to reprogram them.
Stealing all the gas they want.
The surveillance videos don't show the suspects themselves or a readable license plate, but police say it appears to be a white heavy-duty, possibly Ford truck with a trailer and a tank inside.
I want people to know what that truck looks like, and I want somebody to call the Hamden PD to tell them who it is.
Bill says the thieves will then take that gas and sell it for profit on the black market. He has since taken extra security steps to make sure he doesn't fall victim to this kind of theft ever again. Reporting in Hamden, Matt Karen, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Matt, thank you. Boy, that's got to hurt. Okay, a unanimous state Supreme Court ruling this week could change the look of political ads here in Connecticut.
Fox 61's political reporter Emma Wolfhorst explains how this could impact this year's election season.
I feel vindicated.
A state election law case 10 years in the making.
This is never about us. We, for better or worse, jumped in front of a moving train, but we did it on our own.
In 2014, State Senator Rob Sampson was running for re-election in the House, and now former state lawmaker Joe Markley was seeking re-election in the Senate. Both candidates used campaign materials which named and criticized then Governor Dannel Malloy's tax and fiscal policies. Sampson and Markley were receiving public money for their campaigns through the state's Citizens Election Program. One of the rules of using money from the voluntary Citizens Election Program is a candidate cannot spend their public funds campaigning for others not in their race. Sampson's Democratic opponent in 2014 filed a complaint saying Sampson and Markley violated that rule by mentioning Malloy and his policies. The State Elections Enforcement Commission agreed, and in 2018 fined the two lawmakers a combined $7,000, saying they essentially used their public funds on the 2014 governor's race, campaigning for Malloy's opponent.
Political speech has been stifled ever since the original case began.
Sampson and Markley fought the commission's decision, going to Superior Court in 2022 and eventually appealing to the state Supreme Court. Monday, the Connecticut Supreme Court ruled unanimously in Sampson and Markley's favor. In their decision, the justices wrote, none of the communications at issue in this appeal could reasonably be construed as anything more than a rhetorical device intended to communicate the merits of the plaintiff's candidacies as bulwarks against the policies endorsed by Governor Malloy and the Democratic Party.
I understand the desire to have, some sort of rules and regulations to govern how campaigns are run and financed. That makes sense. But when that system grows to a point where they're actually affecting the ability of candidates to be able to choose what their speech is, then they've crossed the line.
This decision now holds ramifications for the 2024 election cycle.
In 2014, Dan Malloy was unpopular, and Democrats were concerned that Republicans would tie their Democratic opponents to Dan Malloy. In 2024, Donald Trump in Connecticut is pretty unpopular, and I think now Democrats will try to tie their Republican opponents to Donald Trump. The question isn't who it benefits. The question is what's fair, what's constitutional. Sometimes it's going to help one side, sometimes it's going to help the other side. That's a sign that it's a fair thing.
And I did reach out to the State Elections Enforcement Commission. In a statement, their executive director and general counsel, Mike Brandy, said, "We are currently reviewing the decision and will consult with our commission and the Attorney General's office to determine the path forward." Brandy added, "We respect the court's decision and will work to provide appropriate guidance to the regulated community." Bridget.
All right. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Franton joining us now. Rach, we've got a nice holiday weekend ahead, pretty much all of it.
Today was a perfect weather day, Rachel. And of course, I was inside, but it looks so nice.
No, the next couple of days look pretty decent as well. The weather will start to head downhill a bit for Memorial Day, but we're holding off any of the heaviest rain, it looks like, until Monday evening. Here's a look at the temperatures right now and the sky. I mean, yes, perfect out there today. Near 80 degrees in New Haven, 84 in Hartford. That temperature along the shoreline fluctuates a degree or two in either side, depending on the wind direction. When it's out of the west, it's warmer. When it's out of the southwest, the temperature drops a couple of degrees. So we just saw a little boost in the numbers for the New Haven area. Groton up to 77 and 86 currently for Windsor Locks. We're quiet here locally. No issues if you wanted to do some grilling and chilling out there this evening. Dinner on the deck or patio, we're giving it the green spatula, which means fire it up through this evening. Temperatures tonight by the news at 11 are dropping into the upper 60s, and towards daybreak we're looking at 50s. And tomorrow we'll do it again. It will be a bit cooler at the shoreline tomorrow. We're thinking 70s across the board, maybe even cooler upper 60s in southeastern Connecticut. But for inland areas away from the shoreline, lower to middle 80s will do it. It will be warm, pleasant with low humidity, and we are dry from start to finish. The next chance for a shower would be later Saturday night, probably after you're already in bed into early on Sunday. But most of Sunday's dry. We'll explain your full forecast and looking ahead to more of a damp Memorial Day coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. Now to a developing story in Hartford, where police are investigating a suspicious death tonight. Hartford police tell Fox 61 a body found this morning inside an apartment on Wethersfield Avenue. They believe a man in his 50s may have died overnight. Right now, officers are treating it like a homicide and say there was trauma to the body. Investigators are still waiting for the medical examiner to determine the cause and time of death. Well, a portion of a major street in Glastonbury is back open after a deadly crash there. It happened on Keeney Street this morning. The portion of the street between Howe Road and Bush Hill was closed for several hours. We are working to get more information on what happened.
Stu Leonards is facing a lawsuit from the family of a woman who died after eating a cookie that contained peanuts. It wasn't listed on the ingredients label. 25-year-old Orla Baxendale had a severe peanut allergy and died back in January. The lawsuit seeks at least $15,000 from Stu Leonards. The cookies are manufactured by a different company called Cookies United out of Long Island. Stu Leonards says the bakery failed to inform them of this peanut ingredient, but Cookies United says they did notify Stu Leonards months prior that they changed their recipe.
State Representative Miriam Khan is responding after the Hartford Police Department's internal affairs report was released, explaining how officers handled the attack against her last summer. It happened outside the XL Center in Hartford after a Muslim prayer service in June. She called it an attempted sexual assault and complained officers didn't take her nor the attack itself seriously. On Wednesday, police cleared all but one officer and released body camera video saying her allegations were unfounded. In a statement, Representative Khan Khan said, in part, quote, "My initial comments were not intended to disparage the entire police department, but were meant to highlight specific concerns regarding the adequacy of security and safety measures in place. I stand by my account and believe that open dialogue and transparency are essential in moving forward," end quote. Khan also said she has not seen all the footage nor the internal report.
An employee at Bradley International Airport facing sexual harassment charges tonight. Police say the incident happened this morning at the airport when a female employee reported that Ryan Gordon touched her without permission and then made sexually suggestive comments toward her. Police reviewed that security video and determined that the footage aligned with the employee's account of what happened. Gordon was then taken into custody, and police have since opened an investigation.
2 men are accused of trying to steal a woman's car on I-84 in Vernon. Police say Emmanuel Nina Saldana and Brian Saldana tailgated a driver, forcing her to pull over onto the shoulder of the highway. The 2 men hit her vehicle, blamed her for the collision, and then attacked her. They stole the keys to her car, forced her back into her car, and drove away. The female driver managed to free herself to find help. Both men were arrested yesterday and were arraigned in Rockville Superior Court today.
Teachers in New Haven calling on city officials to increase funding for schools. A budget vote on this is scheduled for next week.
Teachers say schools need more money to hire more staff and make building improvements. Fox 61's Lindsay Kane is in New Haven with the details.
Teachers here in New Haven are calling on the city to prioritize education in this year's budget. Teachers from across the district coming together to make sure that their message is heard. Now, teachers here in the city are asking for an additional $12 million over what the mayor and the city are considering. Now, the city is proposing a $5 million increase over last year's amount, but teachers say that's not enough, arguing the budgets over the last several years have also been too low and schools are suffering.
The needs of our students are growing more and more complex. We know there are English language learning needs. We know there are mental health needs. We know the facilities of our schools need investment. So, as a result, we believe that funding must be delivered to make sure that solutions are in place.
Teachers say as far as they're aware, no job cuts are on the line like we've seen in other districts like Hartford and Enfield. However, they say the city proposal would make class sizes grow larger. They also say the buildings need improvements, citing no soap dispensers in the bathrooms, teachers sharing classrooms, and supplying classrooms themselves. Hundreds of school staff members wore stickers at work today that said "Fund Our Schools," hoping to make waves ahead of the Board of Alders meeting. That Board of Alders meeting is scheduled for Tuesday. You can stick with us on air, online, and on Fox 61 Plus as we follow the details on that. In New Haven, Lindsay Kane, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.